Well, hello. Today we're going to talk about Lesson 22. And Lesson 22 is a fairly short lesson. It talks about problems about a fraction of a group, and it really is a pretty simple concept. I'll try to make it short so you can get your notes taken. Okay, let's start with an example instead of a vocabulary today. If 2/3 of the students and Mrs. Borgelt's class brought cookies, yum yum, if we are not given the total number of students, the only way we can work with this problem at all is with fractions. We know that 2/3 of the students brought cookies. So, if 2/3 brought cookies, what fraction did not bring cookies? Well, we only are looking at the fraction of the students that did not bring cookies. Well, we'll set it up just a pretty simple way. It's the simplest way I could think of anyway. 2/3 plus what equals the whole, or 1. We know that 2/3 plus 1/3 equals 1, right? So that's the missing, right here, this missing amount. The fraction that did not bring cookies is the question mark. So we know 2/3 plus 1/3 equals 1, so 1/3 of the students did not bring cookies. Wow, that wasn't too bad to figure out, was it? Okay, so let's apply this a little bit. So let's say we know that there are 24 students in my class. Now we have the 2/3 that brought the cookies, the 1/3 that didn't bring the cookies, and now we know that there were 24 total students. So we've got some numbers to work with here. Now we're going to create a model. You're familiar with models, I'm sure, from last year in Saxon, so this shouldn't be anything too new. I'm going to create a model. I'm going to take 24. I know it has to be divided into thirds. So I'm going to take 24 divided by 3, and each third is worth 8. So 1/3 of the students in my class are 8. 8 students. 8 students. 8 students. Okay? So 2/3 of the total would be 2 times 8, which is 16. And 1/3 of the total students in my class is 8. So that's pretty easy to figure out. How many brought cookies? Well, that would be 2/3, which are 2 of these, which is 16. 16 students brought the cookies. How many did not? Go back up here. 1/3, which is 8 students. 1/3 did not. If you use the model, or you can simply take the 24 that we know and subtract the 16 that we know brought cookies, and you would get 8. Pretty simple concept. Okay, here's another quick example. 4/5 of the students in the chess club are boys. If there are 35 students in the chess club, how many of those students are not boys? That's important. Pay attention to what it's being asked. How many students are not boys? Okay, so we're looking at 4/5. That means we're going to divide our total number into 5 pieces because the denominator is 5. So we'll divide them into 5 pieces, which means we'll take 35 divided by 5. So each fifth is going to be 7. Each fifth will be 7. So we make our model again, divide it into 5 parts. Each part is 7 students, okay? And here's our fifths. 4/5 of those are boys, so all of these are boys. What part is not boys? Well, 1/5, right? Because 4/5 is boys, and 4/5 plus 1/5 equal the whole. So 1/5 is not boys, and that is 7. So if 4/5 are boys, then 1/5 are not boys. So since 1/5 equals 7, we would say that 7 students are not boys. Now that doesn't say they're girls, but I don't know what other choice we have. So, okay. Now related to this problem is a little bit of working with percentages. And percentages are not difficult. We've worked with them a little bit before. What percent is 4/5? Since we were looking at 4/5 above. If you look at 4/5, The big thing with percent is to try to get the denominator to be 100 if you can. So if I take 5 times 20, I will make that denominator 100. And if I take the denominator times 20, I must take the numerator also times 20, which gives me 80 over 100. That's familiar, 80 hundredths. 0.80 as a decimal. Move the decimal place 2 places to the right, and you have 80%. So you answered the question. What percent is 4/5? 80% is 4/5. Okay? One more to talk about. Okay. If Judy read 80% of a 60-page book, how many pages did she read? Okay? 80% of a 60-page book. So we know by what we just did that 80% equals 0.80. It also equals 80 over 100, which also reduces to 4/5. So Judy read 4/5 of her 60-page book. We can use a model, take 60 divided by 5, because that's our denominator right here. Okay, when we do that, we divide it by 5, we get 12. So each fifth in our model is going to show 12 pages. Here's our model. Okay, all of the blanks are filled in with 12 pages. And we want to know if she read 4/5 or 80% of the book, how many pages did she read? 4/5 shows here 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, or 4 times 12, which is 48. So if she read 80% of her book, that's 4/5 of it. That is 48, and it's 48 pages. Now, one other question. How many pages does she have left to read? Well, you can do it 2 ways. You can take 60 minus 48, and you'll get 12. Or you can simply look at the fact that she only has 1/5 left to read, and that is also 12. Okay? I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please be sure you ask them in class. Have a great day.